welcome to the Deceptilab, and welcome to my weekly live stream. And today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about this week's event, that's a given, and going to be kind of a chill day, man. I was going to talk about um, there's something that we're discussing in playtest is really broken in the game, and uh, we can talk about some possible solutions to fix this thing that's broken. And I don't use that word lightly, but it's legitimately broken. So we'll talk about that. And we are also going to talk about, let's see, we're going to talk about Scylla and Aerial G1 core. So I had just got it like right after the live stream last week. And yeah, I started playing around with it and I really like it, and I'll tell you why here in a bit. But we're gonna look at that, and then so I had a little bit of a promotion a couple weeks ago. Now it's been about I think I'm on my third week now in my alliance family, and I got into this group chat, and they started telling me some things, and this is one really small change that I made to my war team, and it just completely changed the way that I play the game. It's made me so much better. So I want to share that with you guys. And I actually got some war clips or whatever that I'm gonna share. So we'll take a look at that today as well. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. Like I'm hyped up about it. You know, I had a long day, but I want to spend my evening here with you guys, just talking this stuff out. But before we get to any of those topics, as always, we're gonna go through the newsletter. So let's check it out. All right, so we got this week's event. It's called Double Bind, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's a shorter It's a shorter alliance event. It's 500k. You get up to some of the prizes. You'll be looking at 60 combiner crystals, 2.5k 4-star shards, 7.5k 3-star shards, and 60k premiums, 200k combiner spark, and then 200k regular spark. And I tell you what, it's right on time. I mean, like last week was a big 50k event for the it was a big 50k event for the new combat bot and everything. I wasn't excited about the combat bot, and like I told most of you guys is watching, my real close friends, and I said I took my son up to the University of Delaware for a program he's doing, um, and yeah, man, like that that's been fun. He's still up there. He's enjoying himself. I just talked to him, and yeah, man, it's been cool. So but anyway, so we got typical prize charts and battle zones. So we got game updates. Pretty much this week newsletter was pretty short and sweet. It is all about the winners for the anniversary competition. So if you guys didn't know, each of the content creators was given a name opportunity to put 20 names in for a drawing from Space Ape. So they'll be getting 500 5-star shards or combat shards. All you got to do is DM Dale. The winner from this channel was my good friend Just Elite, who's also a content creator. So that worked out. That worked out good. As always, good to see the buddies going there and win. Uh, Stay Puffed, another one of my good friends and playtester buddies, he won Wazas. So, and then my alliance mate Action Will, my alliance family mate Action Will, won Engineer Horse. So, like, I know all three guys that won the anniversary competition. So congrats to you guys. If you haven't already, make sure that you go DM Dale so that you can go get your stuff. And yeah, that's kind of where we at. All right, so the day's newsletter also announced the new uh, endurance bots for the end of the saga. And so for the Autobots, it's going to be Alpha Trion. And I already looked in the community and I saw the Autobots, they were just pumped up about Alpha Trion being in there. But like Tarn, Tarn is going to be here on the Decepticon side. And let's be honest, man, the the Decepticons were equally pumped up about that. So I hope it's going to do something really cool. I haven't seen it in testing yet. I'd imagine it'll probably be here late this week. Um, when I know something and when I'm able to release it to the public, I'll tell you guys. And then I think they're going to be fired. Like you can't do Alpha Trion and you can't do Tarn, and they just be booty cheeks. Like they, what that sound like? You can't do that. So um, yeah, that's where we're at, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we also got the new skins for the Cyber Pass Season 17, and that is going to be G2 Power Glide, who looks really cool by the way, and then we got G2 Long Haul, which I already went through my whole thing about the G2 Constructicons. For me, Hook had sentimental value because I had the G2 Hook as a toy as a child. I think I was about 12 or 13 years old when I found him, and I had all the other ones in G1. But I was just happy to be able to put the Devastator together. Um, so long haul, it's like all right, that's all right. Um, hopefully they move on from the Constructicon thing, but cool. Cyber Pass, so you can actually see the charts there for Cyber Pass for the next one. And as always, check out your content creators, Engineer Horse, myself, Soldier, and Sunstreak Awaza. And check out your unofficial ones. Also, I got my moderator, Mercenary Terrorism, who makes some really good content. And he was kind of talking in the chat about he's not making as much, but he's still pumping out stuff in a really good rate, and all his stuff has been absolutely fire. So Just Elite, like I said, he won that. He already won my my pick for the Space Ape drone and whatever, but he's been making some fire stuff out there too, and a couple of the guys. I don't want to leave nobody out, but if you in the chat and I see you, I follow all of you guys and I respect what you guys do. So just keep on pumping out that content, and yeah, man, I support you. All right, so I don't think they changed any of the pictures from the community corner because we already saw these pictures I think last week, and then the Space Ape team stream is still going to be on the 6th of July, which will be a Thursday, and I think they're gonna have some really cool stuff to talk about during that stream. So yeah, let's get into it. But all right, so let's take a look around, and I'm gonna go back to the lab for a second, and we're gonna take a look and see who we got in the chat. Robert C4 was first. Thanks for joining. My moderator, Mercenary Terror, was in there behind him. My good buddy, Lord Avix, and my good buddy, Chris Harmon. Hey, thank you guys for joining. Let's see who else. S. Cloasi, another good friend of mine. Thanks for joining. Let's see what we got. We got Ronald Van Hollen, my playtest friend, Venger Prime. Robert Van Hollen said, man, he said it's like midnight where he's at. He still jumped in here to try to go catch part of the stream. So, hey, man, I really appreciate you for that. Thank you for all of the support. Thank all of you guys for the support. Let's see. Just the lead I already mentioned is in the chat. Grim Studios, another content creator friend of mine, man. Like, if you guys ain't subscribed, I'm telling you, if you're not subscribed to these guys, go check these guys out, man. These guys are making some amazing content. Um, I hope that, and some of them are doing them multiple games. But I was like, I would hope that some of these guys get to be up here official sitting next to me, and we can go. They can go enjoy some of the perks that I'm enjoying, man. Because it's really these guys are really making good stuff, man. A lot of these guys got more subscribers than that guy. So it is what it is, dude. I was like, I wish you nothing but the best. All right. Oh shit, my good buddy, my good buddy Big Joe, this joint as well. Thanks for joining. And I'm actually trying to work through. So there was an update to the playtest server today, and I'm probably gonna try to navigate it for a little bit because I think that I need to go back to my email and update it. So Dale gave me every time they do that, gives me a code that I gotta use, and he gave me the code. I just can't get into the actual app. So let me go in there and see if I can find it real quick, and uh, and try to get this upload so I can get this thing on the blue stacks. And let's see what they talking about in the chat too, man. We just had a lot of funny stuff going on in there. Chris Harmon says, "Hell yeah, go Horde." Yeah, because well, a lot of us alliance mates and stuff like that. So uh, definitely glad to have you guys on my team and in my alliance family. I mean, and shoot, man, like over time, man, like a lot of people started just joining. They watch my streams and stuff, and when they decided we established friendships, and they say, hey man, like when they decide they want to move on from alliance, they say, well, can I come over there with you? I say, hell yeah, you can come over there with us, bro. Like that's nothing. And then you get that set up, and yeah, so a couple of us, we got a lot of horde folks in there, man. I said I wish I would have got to play with some of y'all longer because I said I went over there to um, $2. All right, so let me see. And I think I can actually get into the test server because I said I do at some point want to show that I want to show that G1, man. I want to show that G1 Scylla in a little bit, but we'll get there. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna go on my live server for a bit, and we'll talk about some stuff that I got going on my live server. Hopefully, my test server will come up, and we can just let it ride. Lord David says, Baconator is doing great. That's good to hear. I mean, Baconator's a good dude. So Baconator's like actually when I was in Hort My Beer, he's my co-commander, and we just really work well together. So one of the hardest parts about leaving Hort My Beer was that I say I ain't in there with Baconator and Trap, two of my best friends in the game. So um, but I'm doing all right, man. I'm gonna show you guys what I've been working with. You know, so let me pull back up my list of stuff I was talking about. I might not be able to show that Aerial G1, man. It's like I hope I can. That Aerial and Scylla G1. But right now I gotta get onto the live server. So ooh, one of the topics that I was talking about today is there's one particular item in the game that has been it's been broken for a little bit, and we didn't even know it. And the piece that was broken is that healing defensively has been utterly and stupidly broken. So we're gonna go over to the game screen. We're gonna check this out. This is my live server account, and I don't care about the news right now. I want to see my war score. Stop putting stuff on the screen. No. Yeah, they got all these news updates popping up. Ooh, we are just barely ahead right now. That's cool though. Hopefully our guys just keep grinding it out. Um, but what I wanted to talk about is so I was, and it's interesting, and I wanna go walk you guys through everything. So the first thing is that so we had a message in playtest the other day, and it was from Giannis, and I was like to give you guys context. We don't actually talk to Giannis very often. Usually, what happens in playtests is we go in there, Dale will come in there and say, "Hey, we're working on this," and he'll kind of guide us through what steps we need to take to go test things. And most of our interaction was with Dale and Daisy. And so Giannis jumped into the chat the other day, and he was talking about balance changes defensively for regeneration. And I said, "Hmm, I just I don't know how to feel about it. It's polarizing for me because the defensive healing that we have right now, I feel like it's great. And you can see that I got my Micronus core, my shock tower. I wanted to put it on the strongest defense that I had. And so you can see the building health right there is nice. And I've got it shielded and the shielding cluster. I was one of the first, I think I was the first person to look at the shielding cluster back in playtest and just build it up like that. So when phase 2 came out and shock towers got an upgrade, I actually skipped my shock towers because I was so excited about having a defense that was that had that much health. So the problem that we've been having is Giannis was saying that there have been cases where the shock tower is healing more than once. And I was like, honestly, when you look at the whole thing, like I've got the Alchemist core here, and the Alchemist core is based doing damage based off of healing, but the healing here it stacks. And I think that's what's been driving a lot of people crazy. You still got this Liege Maximum core, so you're getting hacked. You got healing that's stacking when you're not getting hacked. You got a shield generator that's absolutely insane, and how much damage reduction is doing. Look at that. HQ resistance, damage resistance is 70%, and then ability damage resistance at 40%. Man, like it's a lot, and a lot of players have been struggling for it, still trying to adapt. So they say, "Well, you got one way to get around this, and then one way to get around this is asset." Well, when you look at the bots that got asset, most of us want to put if you're in Prime League, Cyber, the higher league wars, you want 5 stars on your team. If you can, within reason, there's still some good 4 stars out there. Cutthroat and Tracks for sure are still very viable war bots, and a couple of others. But for the most part, you want 5 stars up there on your team. You want to grind out for bots that you're going to use for longevity's sake, right? All right. So then, when you start looking at batches, how does that look? So if you go into, and I gotta scroll all the way through all this stuff. You go into batch 9, 5-star bot you got there is Headstrong and Pipes, right? If you go into batch 11, you've got Acid Storm, Slingshot, and then of course you get the current batch. And I've spoke to this at length, but the current batch, the current batch has knockout in it, and it's just what's interesting to me is this: when you look at healing in the game defensively, one of the things I've seen, so you get this Micron score is probably the biggest one. Everybody else that was in phase 1, when it's in phase 1 and the HQ18, and everybody instantly started using into these clusters like I got up here on the screen right now. Once Alchemist wound up getting the buff, and then it wound up start doing healing to nearby defenses, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. I like this." But is healing actually really, really broken? I mean, obviously we said that Micronus is doing some healing twice, and that's it. It's for me. It's not. It hasn't been doing it every single time, but it's been doing it. You know, I was in a war yesterday, and I was looking at one of the replays, and I saw a building that he didn't have Alchemist or any other healing around him. He just had Micronus, and I saw it heal a shock tower for approximately 5K. So here's what we're looking at building health wise. So in building health wise, you're looking at 10,920, and that's for normal battle, right? So in a normal battle, you see that what's that equate to about 1,200. So then you got to add in the Prime League hard mode effects. So we'll go to base trial. We'll put it on hard league, on Prime League hard battle, and let's see what those numbers look like. All right, so Prime League hard mode. So that shot tower goes up to 13,650. So that'll put it up there. If you're talking about restoring 15%, you're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood. What's that about? That's about 1,600 ish. So it. Long story short, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be coming up on 4.5, 5K. All right, so that eventually is going to be fixed. I was actually surprised that that was not in this week's bug fixes. Um, Giannis did ask a few of us what we think we should do, and I'll be honest with you, the playtesters said that for healing, maybe you should stop the stacking, but we said that before we realized that there was double healing going on from that Micronus core. So heads up to all you guys that use those setups. There is a strong possibility that that's going to be fixed. It's been doing the wrong thing the whole time. Now I'll tell you what pisses me off about that. There was at one point in time when I was looking at the Micronus core, and one of the things that I was looking at was that it seemed like it was going too fast. It looked like it was charging every 3 seconds. So for me, I said, I went and talked to the apes, and I said, hey, this isn't working correctly. We need to do something about this. They went into their system, and their system said, nah, it's working fine. And while we sitting up here talking, I'm gonna try to see if I can get into the test server too. I don't think it's gonna let me in the test server if I'm being honest, because I gotta figure out how the heck I need to get in there. Alright, so I'm gonna take that down for a second. I'm gonna go back into the lab. Now bring my live server back up. No problem. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the chat. Is healing broken? Do we need to adjust something about it? Personally, I like the challenge. I think it's good where it's at. But let me know what you think in the chat. What do you want to do with healing? Um, the biggest thing for me, and it was actually Waza that brought it up to me when I was talking about it. He was saying that, well, if it's healing at those same percentages in the lower leagues, um, you've got a little bit of a problem. You got a little bit of a problem because, to be honest, that's going to be too tough for those leagues. And which I had to agree, and I hadn't thought about it until he said something about it. But yeah. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the chat, see what everybody's talking about. Lord David says the horde represents. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. Yeah, we got a bunch of people from the horde up here in the chat today. Let's see. Uh, there, Robert C4 is excited about Tarn being added. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, especially just from a lore standpoint. I mean, you got you got the leader of the DJD in there, and I know, yeah, I know most of you guys were saying, y'all were in the chat saying really positive things about Trap. Is like probably my best friend in the entire game. He is ecstatic. He's been waiting for Tarn to come out for a really long time. So I think that I think he's gonna go for the endurance spot. You know what? Just because he's my friend, I might go into the endurance spot for him, depending on what the bot does. But I say I might go into it with him. So that'll be dope. Let's see. Just looking through the chat. My good buddy Spec is in the chat as well. Thanks for joining. Action Will actually joined the chat too. Thanks for joining, and congrats on winning. I think he was Engineer Horses um, drawing and whatever. I was just telling these guys. I said everybody. I said I know all the guys that won the drawing, so I'm say it was good to hear that. Joker joined the chat as well, and he says, "Could Acid Storm and Knockout together maybe be too much acid and hinder the otherwise first team attack with lower health?" So I tell you what, I'm on my live server. I've got Acid Storm and Knockout in my war team. But look, I don't think that it's too much. I think that Acid Storm by himself does 15 seconds of anti heal. He was the first one that really started to put acid onto the map like that, right? When we started heading, he kicked off the acid meta, because I mean we got some acid 4 stars out there. It ain't nothing crazy. Um, but nobody was using acid. Nobody wanted to deal with damage over time. And I understood. So we put the acid onto this chat and we say, hey, what do you want to do from a anti-heal standpoint? And then all of a sudden we had all these healing cores on defense, and we had all this stuff. And I think it's working out. I think it works out great if you use. I use both because I kind of like both, and let's be honest, Acid Storm and Slingshot got really good damage, just base damage. So I like it. I don't think it's too much. I don't think a lot of times you just have stuff that you look at it and you say, hey man, that's overkill. But at the same time, I've been pushing for people to use. I've been pushing for people to use Acid Storm this whole time, and part of the reason that I did that is because they were talking about nerfing Slingshot, and I mean, I'm sorry, they were talking about nerfing Knockout, Knockout and Skids, and I said, well, you've got options out here on how to use these bots, and shit. I actually lost both of these bots. I might need to enhance the speed. It doesn't help that I got it doesn't help that I've got bludgeon down here at the bottom of the screen. I need him at the top of the screen to kind of help me out with some of this stuff. Alright, I got. But I didn't get comboed them together, so that sucks. I'll have to go do that in the base trial or something. But you actually get to see the other talking point that I was gonna make today, and that's that I absolutely love the combination of Bludgeon, Quintus, and Pterodactyl. And I actually had somebody from, so like I said, just got a promotion to $2 horde, and now I was struggling. I was struggling like quite badly, honestly, for a couple of wars, and I was like, shoot, man, I was doing good and horde my beard. I got out there and just started playing bad. And so they say, well, let me look at your teams real quick. And suddenly they would say, why don't you try using Quintus Axe on this dude? And I probably should have used a combiner here, but I said I got beat, and that's all good. But um, I actually want to take a look at my war team and some of the changes I made with it lately. And my good friend E Rod joined the chat. Thanks for joining. Spencer 394 joined as well. Thank you for joining as well. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So I want to take a look at my war team as it currently stands. And so here, that Bludgeon with Quintus and Pterodactyl. Here's my thing. I've been trying to use bots, and I still need to level them up some more because I've only got them at 61 right now. I want to use bots that I'm gonna keep around for a long time, and I want to capitalize on the combat bots that I already use. Now, a lot of you guys have seen me use Quintus. I put Quintus on jets. I put them on. Um, I put them up. Then I'll pair them with Singe so that Singe cannot keep my jets from getting killed, and it works really well. But I was using Mechatronus, and now because of the asset meta, and because I got all of these bots together, with acid, with knockout and acid storm, and I got blast off over here with fracas. So I just got acid. And part of the problem that Giannis was talking about, he says, you know what? Maybe we're forcing people to depend too much on acid. And I said, is that the case? Are we really depending on acid so much that we can't get away from it? Now, I'll tell you my opinion. My opinion is this. My opinion is that I just walked you through all the batches that we had acid bots in. You only need one. If we're going to be honest, you only need one. But we start getting into things where people don't enjoy the teams that they've built. They're just trying to build all acid teams. And sometimes I think there's two different phenomena that take place. On one hand, we got people who just overdo it. They say, hey, man, we're going to make every single bot that we can. We're going to try to make them acid. And honestly, that's not necessary. You need one. You need one. And that's cool. I mean, an acid storm and slingshot do it for 15 seconds. So that's what I've been telling people when they were trying to get knockout and skids when they were trying to get them to that point. I said, nah, man, just go use the bot that was designed for that. Like, knockout and skids were designed for damage purposes. Let us damage be great. But nah, I don't think it's overkill at all to use both. I mean, I use both just because I like to combo the bots. I like getting that additional wall damage from knockout. And I just like to make anything that's gonna make pathing easier for me. And so that's what I did. And I'm still slow with this mouse, no matter what I do. But it shouldn't be a problem. And my good buddy Big Blade joined the chat. Thanks for popping out. Yeah, Robert C. Ford says he uses his 4-star knockout with a 4-star scavenger for damage. And yeah, and you know what? And honestly, a lot of people been doing that. I mean, when you look at Texas Hammer, who's also one of my good friends, and over here in the main horde, the horde, he really made that popular. And to be honest, it works. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't like Scavenger. No matter what I do, I don't like him as a bot. I don't want him on my team. I don't want him anywhere near my team. I tried it for a while and I had moderate success. I, I don't like him, but you can't deny the fact that that damage stacks. You wind up getting that multiplier for fire and acid damage, and they both are 10 seconds long, and it works. Spec says, I don't think we got a choice. I don't think we got a choice. It's like you have to use acid. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to go and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get Scylla, the Scylla G1, and Aerial G1 on here because I wanted to show that executability they just got. But I just cannot get my test account to work today. And I was like, and I knew it was gonna be something that was gonna be messed up because I was like, shoot, man, like the day's the day of the stream, and actually, I think it might be working now. I'm gonna try it. Ooh, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Oh no, I don't either. That would have been dope, dude. All right, so let me try it again. All right, so I'm actually gonna go to the lab for a second, and I'm gonna back out. I want to see if I can get here and show this power core because I think that's another option that you have to help you deal with some of this insane healing. Big Blade says that it fell back and Chromium need a boost. I'm inclined to agree with you, but I've been saying for a while what I think is gonna happen is, ooh, I got it. I got the test server, and look at that new artwork that we're about to get. I don't know if that's considered a leak or what. Bro, I'm pulling up the test server, and that new artwork is brilliant. I like it. But what I think is going to happen, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, and I've been advocating for this for a couple of weeks, is I think that Electric and Ice is going to have some kind of combo. We just got to get there first, and we just don't have a lot of bots in the wiki described as ice bots. I think when you do that, I think Fellback instantly jumps back into potentially the meta. So does Deathsaurus possibly. Um, I'm upset with Deathsaurus right now and Star Saber, but it'll be what it's gonna be. I say I think from a long term vision standpoint, I do think that the apes got that under control. So Mercenary Terror says he's gonna try a brainstorm combo, um, but not sure what cons you have. Oh wait a minute, he was talking to. Yeah, Brainstorm is actually really really good right now. But yeah, I agree with you, Grim. That does look sick. I'd say it would look better if they would have had Galvatronus up there. That'd have been dope. But nah, everybody talking about Tripredacus. But yeah. All right. So I'm gonna take a look at so it came out last week, and I wanted to talk about it, but you know it kind of ticked me off because I just looked into playtest one day. I practice regularly on playtest. That's how I get a lot of my strategies from, and it's made me a much better player. But we got this power core, and they just kind of just shoved it in there, and they was like, "Here, I don't even think they even said anything to us about it." But this is what it does, and the stat value up there is wrong. But really, what it's going to do is it's going to do a damage boost, and then it's going to execute enemies. They got whoever has a Death Kiss beacon. So the Death Kiss beacon is from the ability of Scylla, and it's going to be when they get below 20%. So I started looking into this, and I've only built this up to level 13 because, in all honesty, you don't need to build it higher than that unless you exclusively want to do it for the damage. And the reason why I say that you don't need to build it too far is because you're already using that ability from Scylla, and it is going to make you, now the values here are all jacked up, but and it's in the wrong language and everything, but long story short, it's pulling all the other bots to the location when you use Scylla and Aerial. And so your bots are gonna start to attack one target. And this core says once it gets drops below 20%, it's just gonna kill it. So let's take a look at it and see how that looks. For those of you who don't have it already. Yeah, nah, Spec's laughing because they had all the stuff in Latin. Man, the playtest server is wild sometimes, man. Like we actually are starting to work on the new Alliance HQ stuff, and we'll see that pretty soon. I say another horde member, Cheeto, up there from playtest. I drew his base. All right, so I just really want to take, and I probably should have went into my I probably should have went into my base trial, but fuck it. So I'm not gonna use it yet. I'm just gonna let it ride. I'm actually gonna go back and base trial in a little bit because I want to make sure that I do this ability some justice. But when Scylla gets up here and you run her ability, you got the Death Kiss beacon. I just put it on. Alright, yeah, I'm definitely going to because that didn't work at all. I'm definitely going on to my base trial. Because I was running it a couple of times yesterday and it actually worked really well. But if it didn't pull up that time, I'll just run it on base trial. Because the thing I want to look at is I want to look at like the healing clusters and everything like that. Now there's been a lot of times where I can get the damage down quite a bit, still getting pounded on. And so if I got an ability that causes it to execute, it could actually work really, really fast. So I'm gonna actually move the MDS down to the bottom, and I'll even add some healing to it. I'll add my Cronus. Now, granted, it's not gonna be covered by the shield generator or anything like that, but let's see how that works. We'll take a look at it without Scylla first, and we'll just bring in a couple of bots, and I'll just do it on regular mode. Spec made a good point. Says that Scylla works really well with regular Megatron just because then you can kind of get like a double dash. And I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, that would certainly work. All right, so that took a couple of seconds. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm actually gonna take a look at with this execute because what you're gonna see is the defenses is just gonna just disintegrate when you go use this execute with this G1 core. And since it's always set at 20%, it's ready to go right out of the box. So let's actually use Scylla this time, and we'll use it a couple of times and let everybody take a look and put it on Prime League hard mode. To answer your question, Big Blade, in regards to the Alliance HQ, I do not know when it's going to release. So, and I actually left that out. I wanted to talk about that earlier. So there is a council of players from higher alliances, just top alliances, that had a conversation with Giannis today, and they said that basically, and I can't talk about everything they talked about because I don't know yet. But one of the things that they said was that Alliance HQ is taking longer than they expected. So hopefully we'll see it soon. Hopefully it actually looks good. But look at it. Look at this. As soon as you get anywhere close to once you get around that 20% range, that those defenses just die when you use Scylla's ability. And I think that's really, really cool. Like you just look at it and watch the power meter on this Energon harvester. And it still had quite a bit of health left. It probably would have took a couple more shots. Um, I think that's gonna be the way to go going forward. And then you can obviously add more damage with them, but with Scylla being a warrior class spot, I mean the damage is already kind of low, so you're really getting a lot of value of just bringing your team. And I think that's going to be a way that even if we still have the healing clusters, I think that's a way to deal with them. We just got to get to the point that when we're still in the batches and stuff like that. So yeah, that's so try it on the MDS. And I say I was trying to do that in base trial, but I might have to go do it at the tail end in one of these regular battles because I was killing MBS like way too fast in my base trial. But yeah, I tried on the MDS. It definitely works on MDS though. When I was playing like on the actual phone and not on the computer, those things just evaporate. And unfortunately, this is probably going to be a weaker base. I might have to X out and go to a stronger base. Yeah, that base is too weak. It's got it up there in the prime zone. Mercenary Terry made a request for Snapdragon, Fracus Leech, Maximo. Um, do me a favor, put it in the comments after we get off the stream, so that then I can come back to it and I can actually do it for you next week. Cause I don't got a high level Snapdragon on here right now. So not in the chat. Leave it in the actual comments on the video, so it'll be one of those things that I see after the stream ends. Man, this is some really nice looking stuff that they got up here, man, for these. Man, shit, I'm just gonna run with it. Oh shit, they ain't got no MDS up here. Oh yeah, they do too. So let's see. Yeah, and that brings it down pretty quick. Let's see. I still want more examples though, but yeah, I think the core is actually going to be pretty great. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you guys about something else that I'm looking at for the channel. So it's a couple of things. The first thing is this. So has actually YouTube has actually lowered the requirements to get monetized. And I was just talking to Just Elite about this earlier and right before the stream. Bro, I am very, very close under YouTube's new new guidance. I'm very close to getting monetized. So if you guys got friends out there that you know will watch Transformers YouTube videos, or hell, even if they'll just subscribe to a YouTube channel, I don't even care if they watch it or not. I actually got plenty of watch hours. I got enough for them to monetize me. I just need maybe 30 more subscribers or some shit like that. So I'll make a deal with you. If you go invite somebody to my channel and you can give me proof that you invited somebody to my channel, I'll give you a couple of Freezy chests. No, all you gotta do is just send me the screenshot so I can start getting paid for this shit, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This thing is it took it took the MDS down pretty quickly. And granted, it's a lower level MDS, but once you get to that 20%, man, these things are evaporating. And I really like it a lot. It's wherever you get the death kiss, it works. And I'm just kind of just screwing around right now, but yeah. To Tara's point, because Tara doesn't have social media, man, just have the person say like, "Hey, have them write me a comment and say, hey, Tara referred me to come join your channel or whatever, and you're a new subscriber," and that's good enough for me. And now I'll find you a way to get you your Freezy chest. Grim Studio says I just need a few more subs to be able to go live. Man, look, if you guys ain't been watching Grim's content, go check out Grim's content, man. Grim actually does a really, really good job, man. I said I need the editing skills that some of you guys got, man, because you guys be making some stuff that's absolutely fire. You, Terror, a couple other guys. Yeah, Robert C. Ford. To your point, if I got dead weight subscribers up there, look, I ain't talking about a lot of dead weight subscribers or whatever. I'm just talking about because I get hours. I really do. I really do get watch hours or whatever. I'm just talking about just getting enough just to get my foot into the door of the program. I ain't trying to go do one point I was thinking about just doing a sub for sub thing and stuff like that. I ain't trying to do all that. I'm just trying to get 30 more people in there, so that I'll be over the required number. I think I need 500. I'm at 459 or some shit like that. And Robert C4 said he gonna add his alt YouTube account up there. I I'm honestly surprised I hadn't done my own alt account, my alt YouTube account up there yet. I probably should do that. So to answer your question, Tara, so now you have to have for monetization, you gotta have 500 subs, which I already know that you have, and you gotta have instead of 4,000, it's gotta be 3,000 of content. Now I had actually dipped down for a little bit because I went on my whole content creator strike for a little bit, and I had some family stuff, and I had actually dropped down to the high 2,000s. I'm I'm well over 3,000 uh, viewer hours. You know, when I go look at it now. So I mean, I'm actually I honestly will probably get the 4,000 in about a month or two. But the requirement is 3,000, but you gotta have 500 subscribers now instead of 1,000, and you gotta make you have to have made it's something dumb. It's like more than like 3 videos in 90 days or whatever. Which I made 3 videos like just this month alone, so we're good. Yeah. Yeah, Waza in the chat, he says, from what I understand, you can't put adverts on with the new levels of monetization. It's just members and super class. All right, well that's good to know too. But I was just like, yeah, man. I was like, shoot, I'm just so close. And I was like, with the new guidance, I was just like, this is really, really close. But yeah, Tara, you definitely fit that requirement though, like, cause you've been making good content for a while. But all right, guys, I am going to go sign off for tonight. Like I said, thank all of you for joining and thank you for your support. Um, Hit me up next Wednesday. I'll be live streaming again. Hopefully with some new good news about oh, he said super chats. But hopefully we be in there with some good news. Hopefully about Alliance HQ with some new updates to the game. Hopefully with something. But I do think that for this week at least, the game is trending in a good direction. So we'll see what actually comes of it. But anyway, I'll see you guys next week, and I will see you on the battlefield. Freezy is out.